I thought that I was going to be a truck driver. I thought that I was going to be a farmer, like my dad was. I thought I was going to work as like a mechanic or some like whatever job that was just working with my hands because I didn't think I was smart. No, I went to a school with like 300 kids. There was like 30 kids in my entire class, and that wasn't even the worst. There were some classes that had like 15 kids. Like, I grew up in rural Alberta on a farm with not many opportunities in front of me. It was pretty bleak, to say the least. I honestly had no idea what my life was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something just, yeah, just whatever. But then I kind of woke up. I woke up when COVID happened, and I had been living a life that wasn't meant for me. I was in a career, going to school for something that I thought that I wanted to be, but the longer I was in it, the more I was like, wow, what am I doing? Like, why am I wasting away my days when I feel like I'm meant for something greater? And I decided to wake up. I had a spiritual awakening. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but the veil had been removed, and I knew that the world was an evil, deceitful place. I realized that everything that had been created out of greed and out of trying to make other people, trying to take advantage of other people, no matter what industry. And that really upset me. I really struggled for a bit to try and have some sort of grounding, some sort of understanding of what all this is. I went down the path of I'm going to manifest, I'm going to trust in the universe, I'm going to believe that there's energies out there that are guiding me. And yeah, things started to get better. I was manifesting, I was doing affirmations, and things started to get better. I, at the time, didn't realize that I was starting to form a connection with God. And during that time, I thought it was all the universe. I thought it was all because of me and how I was manifesting money and opportunities into my life. But the truth is, I was simply aligning myself with God's will for me. And unbeknownst to me, that is why things were taking off. I decided to quit my job. I was working just an office job, 10 hours a day in front of the computer, mindless job. And I quit. And I remember I called my parents and I was like, Mom, Dad, I quit my job and I want to be an entrepreneur. And they were supportive. They didn't understand, but they said, well, whatever makes you happy. And that to me meant more than probably anything, because knowing that your parents have your support is something that you can't have that fulfillment by anyone else except for God. Like, so yeah, I started doing this, started making videos, and I, for the first time in my life, felt like I had found my calling, and I was helping people. I was making a difference. I was building community, all for God's will without even knowing it. And what's crazy about that is, thinking back now, is that all those opportunities didn't come from me. All the money that came to me wasn't from because I manifested. It was all because God saw me as a person and he said, you're going to do good things. You're going to use the gifts that I gave you for good. And yeah, I guess long story short, I ended up creating a TikTok and gaining 50,000 followers, and I lost it all. I decided to steer away from who I was for someone else. And that person wasn't God. That person was a human. She became my entire world, and I completely fell away from my purpose. I completely fell away from God's purpose for me. And yeah, it was 2 years that I was away from doing this and sharing my story, sharing my thoughts, sharing my insights about life. And it feels good. It feels really good to be back. And I guess the point of this whole story is that I hope this can inspire someone to go back to what they had been doing before. Something great came out of that. You were seeing progress that you'd never seen before, and maybe you stopped doing that thing. Maybe you got distracted by something else, and then you got distant from God's path for you and God's will for you. Maybe that happened, but I hope this video inspires you that you can go back. You can realign yourself with God's will for you, and great things will start to happen. You will feel a peace and a understanding like none other. You will feel like your purpose is just completely on point. And there's no other feeling like that. Like doing this brings me a type of joy and a type of fulfillment and purpose that nothing else has ever come close to. Literally nothing. And it's hard to describe because it's a feeling, but everyone knows that feeling when they've been successful at something and they've been really good at it. They know that feeling. It's like, wow, I'm good at this. I understand this. This makes sense for me. So yeah, I just really hope that this video inspires you to try that thing again. Try doing that thing again. And I pray to God that you don't give up this time, and that you see it out fully, and you put your whole heart and you put your whole mind and your whole body behind it. And you ask God for guidance, and you ask him for strength and courage to just do that thing. And he'll do it. He'll overfill you. He'll overfill you with so much strength and courage and ability that you didn't even know that you had. And he can do that for you. I just pray, and I hope that whoever sees this is that you just go and do that thing that you are meant to do, and it just turns out perfectly for you, because we have a short amount of time on this earth. And so many of us, so many people are just living for the wrong reasons. They're not at the right job. They're not around the right people. But that doesn't have to be you. You can be a different person, and you can literally change your life in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks. My entire life shifted when I went to God about 2 weeks ago and said, God, lead me. I surrender. And I've been making videos ever since. So once again, I hope this inspires you. And I hope that you have an amazing day. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.